Welcome to Spiritual Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Bigger. We're back again for another episode. And you know, it's miracle season. Get you 50% off of all merch. Go to the website. It's miracleseason.com. Promo code MSeason, all caps. I want to give special thanks and shout outs to Simplify Impact, who controls all my marketing for social media, YouTube, and everything for my podcast. So check them out. Sign up and maybe, have a call and see if they can help you be more visible. But yeah, here we go. So today's episode, it's about trust in your spirit, and how do you build trust within yourself? So one thing to be mindful of, trust comes from your heart. Trust comes from your body. Trust is actually integrated in your spirit, right? When trust goes into the mind, that's when trust is shaky. So I'm going to give you an example of how trust was built throughout my life. And it's something for you to think about. I want you to take yourself back as you listen to me tell you my story of growing up. Where was trust discombobulated, challenged, or not certain in your life? Because this is where your trust story starts, begins, or changes, right? This is your journey of trust. So growing up in Baltimore City, the city was extremely violent. A lot of crime, a lot of drug dealing. So a lot of negative things going on. And so growing up in that environment, you always got to be on point. Spidey senses are on. You got to watch out. You can't be in certain environments and neighborhoods too late. But what does that do? You don't trust because everything is programmed in you because of fear, because it's bad, it's negative. Violence might happen. Somebody might rob you, something bad. That's just always been a paradigm in that time growing up. So my trust from that point on was a little jaded, just outside of myself, right? That was one example. I also remember when I was asking my mom to do something for me and she said she would do it or come to my game, said she would come. It would never happen. So my trust again was challenged, where that's what my love language of acts of service was built, because I didn't believe words. Like when someone told me they was going to do something and they didn't do it, it didn't honor my trust. So those are two examples. The environment was negative, so I didn't trust the environment. My mom told me something she didn't do, so therefore I didn't trust people, right? So there we go. The environment I didn't trust, people I didn't trust. Now here we go to the next part of trust within your life is yourself. So I trust myself more than anything, right? More than anything. I put all the trust into myself. And yeah, last but not least, I trust in God. But I'm going to really make these two make sense. So trusting myself kept me in my ego more than it should, and allowed me to fear people and the environment, to trust myself. But because I didn't trust the environment or people, I try to control situations with subtle manipulation, like people pleasing, right? Or not letting people do for me the way I would do for them, because I'm afraid they're not going to handle me with care, or I'm not going to feel safe, or something bad is going to happen because of trust. You see how everything comes back to trust? But it started as a child in the neighborhood, my mom, right? So then I took trust into my own hands. I trust myself. I don't want to wait on no one to do it. I'll do it myself. I don't trust that they're going to get it done. So when you don't trust other people can get things done in your life, and you don't trust people, guess who you attract? People who are not trustworthy. So I'm over here trusting myself, or you don't attract people who can get it done when it's time to trust someone. So that also challenged me when it came to asking for help. I didn't know how to, because I didn't trust anyone. Unconsciously, I didn't trust anyone. I didn't even trust life. I just trusted myself. So with that paradigm in sight, I was living from my ego mind, which was fear and protection. I was afraid that the worst would happen, and I was protecting myself from the worst happening, right? And I just thought I could do it on my own. But little did I know, I couldn't. And times I burnt out. I failed. I hid from myself. I never wanted people to see me weak or vulnerable, because I didn't trust people. So then there was a play where, I had to trust God, right? I had to trust in something greater. I had to trust in something outside of myself. And so when I would pray, right, I trusted the prayers I would pray. And actually all the prayers I prayed for manifest. So it's interesting how trust plays a factor in our life, but we don't know where it starts and where it comes from. So right now, as you listening to this, think about it. When was the first time in your life your trust was challenged, altered, or you changed it, where there was a lot of uncertainty? Because we got to go to the beginning to get to the end or get to the now. right? So trust is such an important ingredient in all of life, for yourself, for your relationship, for your business. You know how people say, don't trust that person. I don't trust that, you know. And I was like that with drugs, alcohol, everything. I didn't have my first drink until I was 21. I've never smoked weed a day in my life. But now because I'm older and I'm more evolved and I trust life more and I trust myself, I'm not afraid of anything. There's no fear. Because when you trust yourself and you trust in something greater, your God consciousness, the God evolution of life, you just live in flow. You live in alignment of your soul's assignment. And that's where I'm at today. But I had to go through all these battered, burdened moments of trust. You know, not trusting people in relationships, not trusting people in friendships. Because you gotta understand, I said in the beginning, trust is in your body, it's in your heart. Like trust is in my body. So when you trust someone or something, it's in your body. You don't feel it, but you just feel at ease. You feel relaxed. You're well, you're safe. Oh, buddy, when you don't trust something, I remember when I had to jump in the ocean for the first time, I was so tense, like, because it's in my body. Trust is not in my body anymore. So when trust is not in your body and it's in your mind, you're trying to control circumstances, outcome, the worst thing can happen, whatever, you know. We have to build trust within our body, within our spirit. And this is why prayer is important, getting around people you can trust and teaching yourself how to trust yourself, right? So there's two things I want you to take note on and think about in this moment to build trust within. It's very simple, but it's not always easy. The first one is when your intuition gives you a hit. I want you to really practice this, really be aware. When your intuition gives you a hit, it could be something simple as call your mom, call your mom. Like listen to your intuition. And then every time your intuition gives you a hit and you follow it, I want you to take note of what happens. Was it true? Or did you create it because of fear? Because a lot of us don't trust our intuition. So I want you to trust your intuition, to trust yourself, to trust life. So when you get that hit or when you feel something that's telling you that this is not a good business ordeal, this might not be a good partner, trust it. Don't allow more experiences or time go by for you to, I knew this was going to happen a while. So when you get a hit from your intuition, it can be something slight, like call someone, go downstairs and get the mail, whatever. Listen to it. Listen to it. Like really listen and take action on your intuition. So number one, take action on your intuition when you get the hit. Write it down. Two, very simple. When you feel something strong in your body, like a hell yes, and you just know it without evidence, trust it. A lot of us be knowing things, but because of we're afraid to say something or we're afraid it doesn't make sense, there's no logic involved, that it's wrong. No, it's right. Your sixth sense, your higher self is picking up on something that you don't need logic to trust or know. I want you to trust that. And that could be information about getting something, doing something. Give you an example. You know, you might know you need to leave this environment where you're living in. And it's like, something doesn't feel right. I know I need to leave here. Leave it. You might know you need to leave your job. You might know you need to follow up with that client to get them to come into your business. You might know that you should ask this person you're dating, why did they kiss you like that? Oh, what was that about? When they text you that, like, instead of like brushing over it because you don't want no confrontation, follow it. Trust the knowing. Whenever you get something, you get a hit out of nowhere, and you know, like in your mind and your body, go for it. So take action on your intuition, follow your knowing without question. Just do those two things and just practice it. You might not get it all the time, but just practice it, because what this is going to do internally is build the trust and confidence within yourself to trust what you know, to trust what comes up, to trust yourself. Trust is why a lot of relationships don't last, because people don't even trust themselves to have a conversation for the communication that needs to take place in a relationship. Relationships fail because people lack trust. I remember when I was in a relationship, I was driving my girlfriend at the time car, right? And she had a nice car, nice Mercedes. And we're just going down the street. And she don't even know. I'm testing like her body language. She's so antsy. She's so anxious. She's like, no, don't do this, do that. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you acting like this? She's like, no, because I know my car. So boom, trust what I know. And that moment, I realized she don't trust me. Granted, prior to that, to give you a little bit of context, we broke up 3 months prior and we got back together. So when I saw that, she don't trust me. So that's me knowing people, body language. I'm your man, I'm driving your car, and you're acting antsy, you don't trust me. So at that moment, I knew, this relationship probably about to end in some form or fashion. I didn't think in that moment, but I can tell she didn't trust me because she was too anxious. So when you're too anxious for something, and you're lacking faith. You don't trust something. So that relationship didn't last. The trust was altered for a lot of reasons. Didn't trust me. And no matter what she could tell me, your body doesn't lie. The body keeps the score. So we don't trust ourselves first to speak our truth in a relationship. And two, we don't trust that if we do speak our truth, that we'll get what we want. So we won't even speak it. So boom, trust is everything. Honestly, trust is more important than love. Because how many people that you love or loved that you don't trust? You got family members that you love, but you don't trust. That's bad. So you can't have a relationship if you don't trust. If there's no trust in a relationship, there's no relationship. I don't care how great the sex is. I don't care how great the vibe is when you guys hang out. I don't care what you have in common. If you don't trust a person, even if they don't know you don't trust them, but something in your body is like, I like this person, but something just feels off because you don't trust them. So with all that going on, and you're not speaking to that offness, it's not going to work. So people, listen to your intuition, take action on your intuition, and follow your know. Listen to your intuition, follow your know, right? Take action on your intuition, follow your know. It's no question. Build the trust. You need to learn how to trust yourself so you can have trust in relationships and opportunity and circumstances and experiences in your life so you can be free and not worry or think outside of what you need to be thinking about. So hopefully this information helps, but trust yourself, trust in something greater. Because like I told you, it started with my environment I didn't trust. It started with my mom telling me something that she didn't do it, altered my trust. And I just started trusting myself and my ego took over. Then I had to trust in something greater than God. But when I'm in between God and the ego, then trust is really altered again. So people, trust yourself with all the faith in the world, with all the love, and work on that trust. Build the trust. Test your trust so you can have a trust in life. All right, that's all. That's it. Hey, Spiritual Fitness Podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Spiritual Fitness Pod. Tell a friend and tell a friend. It's Miracle Season merch. Everything will be in the show notes. Get you some merch. Sign up to one-on-one coaching. I have free intentional calls. And if you want a free guide, Miracle Mindset Guide, DM me, Miracle on Instagram, and I'll send it to you. With all that being said, I love you guys. Love yourself. Comment, share, subscribe again, engage. And the question is, I'm leaving with you today. Do you trust yourself? You got to answer. Just think about it. See you guys soon.